and I'm going to turn it over to you. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Great. Thanks, Shanda. Appreciate it. And everybody can see my screen okay here? I'm just going to make sure that everybody's seeing everything
Yes.
accordingly. So my name's Laramie McClurg. I'm with ExamFX. Work with Delta Sigma Pi as a partner with regards to our insurance and securities licensing programs. I also work with Northwestern Mutual, and am happy to have them on the call here, and Kaitlyn Stott, who is the Director of Recruitment for the Pittsburgh office and region with regards to Northwestern Mutual careers. And so here's a quick overview just kind of the agenda that we'd like to go through. Again, talking a little bit about what we do on the licensing and career path, how we help students get licensed and start their careers in the financial services industry here at ExamFX. I'll talk a little bit about the SIE, so the Securities Industries Essentials Program. It's a new FINRA licensing program that is available for college students. Talk a little bit about our course content outline here at ExamFX, and then turn it over to Kaitlyn to talk about Northwestern Mutual's careers and internship programs and potential opportunities that maybe they even have in the Pittsburgh office. So as you think about potential financial services careers and sort of the licensing associated with them, there's a few different paths that you guys may be considering as you are looking towards your potential future career paths. So insurance agents, if you want to own your own insurance agency or work for others, financial advisors, investment banking, stockbrokers, working on Wall Street, day traders. These are all potential career paths in financial services areas that require insurance or FINRA licensing components in order to work in those industries. And if you look at kind of the different pathways and the licensing associated with them, and this is definitely a generalization. So there is different components of this that you may steer in different pathways, but generally life and health, property and casualty insurance licenses are required to work in the insurance industry. From there, if you're going to get securities licensed, typically the Securities Industries Essentials program will be the first step. It is the first required program or prerequisite to getting additional FINRA licensing. And if you're going to go down the path of insurance agent, typically the Series 6, the variable rep license would be the next step in the process. And the Series 63 is the state license required by each individual state in order to buy, sell, and trade in those states. For more financial investment focused career paths, you'll typically take the SIE and then the Series 7, the General Securities Rep license. It's a little more in depth. It requires a little more study. It's a little tougher exam, but you can do more with it. So you can buy, sell, and trade more securities licenses or more securities products with the Series 7, the General Securities Rep. And so that would be the next step in the process. And then the Series 66 is another, it's called the Unified Combined, and it takes the Series 63 and 65 component from the state licensing. And then also life and health. There are financial agents or financial advisors that do life and health licensing as well to sell those products and services. So this is, again, just sort of a general pathway. And I'm happy to answer any questions that there might be around some of these different career opportunities and career paths that are out there in front of you. As far as insurance licensing that we provide, so we provide life and health, property and casualty insurance programs here at ExamFX. We also offer all of the FINRA securities licensing programs in order to do buy, sell, trade, mutual funds, annuities, retirement plans, and all of the products associated with those. You've heard me say FINRA now a couple times, and I probably should have spelled it out right away, but FINRA stands for the Financial Industry Regulatory Authority. FINRA is essentially the overseeing body of all of the securities products. And so in order to buy, sell, trade, you have to be licensed through FINRA and through the organization's a broker dealer. So for example, Northwestern Mutual is a broker dealer that you'd be licensed through with FINRA in order to buy, sell, and trade those securities products. So who gets FINRA licensed? So again, financial advisors, insurance agents, anyone who is looking to buy, sell, or trade. And the Series 6 is sort of a smaller component. So if you're going to sell mutual funds, variable annuities, whereas the Series 7 provides a wider variety of opportunity to sell products and services. And the SIE is the prerequisite component to doing both of those, right? So it was introduced in 2018, and so it stands for the Securities Industries Essentials Program. And one of the reasons that FINRA introduced the SIE program is in order to make it more available for people to come into the industry. So typically, the way it worked before 2018 is when you wanted to come into the industry and work for a Northwestern Mutual, for example, you had to take on the full-blown Series 6 or Series 7. And it was kind of a barrier to entry for a lot of students coming out of college, whereas now the SIE, you can do that at any point in time. You don't have to be sponsored by an organization. You could go and study for and take the SIE as long as you're 18 years of age. That's really the only prerequisite required to take the SIE program. Again, it's kind of the entry to doing all things that we just talked about on insurance and financial advising and as a stockbroker. So really why FINRA developed the SIE, again, was to try to develop more interest, try to develop more opportunity for people to come into the industry. If you look across the board or across the broker dealers, I should say, and the registered reps in the country, you can see that almost half of them are 50 years of age or older. And so what that means is that they're seeing an aging out in the industry, and people that are getting closer to retirement, 10 to the next 5 to 10 to 15 years, with half of your registered reps looking at retirement, how are we bringing more people into this industry? So that good news for students, good news for someone coming out of college and looking to get into one of these careers, because there's going to be plenty of opportunity down the road to get licensed and trained in insurance and financial services and opportunities for career growth around it. With our SIE program, so if you're considering starting an SIE course, there are 4 components that you'll be tested on. So capital markets, the products that you'd be selling, how you interact with your customers, the things that you can't do with your customers, and just in general, the regulatory framework that you'll need to know around the securities industry. We break it out into 11 chapters. We typically recommend around 60 hours of study for our SIE program. We have live online training courses. So every week we have a class that goes from 10 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, where you could attend the class and work with an instructor and ask questions through a live online format, which I'm sure everybody's kind of familiar with, especially in today's age with learning online. You have the opportunity to ask questions and interact. You also have full access to our learning portal, which you can watch on-demand videos. You can also watch recordings of the live online sections and work through your chapters, quizzes, your Q banks, and the full program. So with our live online study package, you have access to all of those training. You also have instructor support access, online flashcards, the diagnostic and simulated exams that would come with any package. And so we offer packages, live online study, video study, and self-study programs for everything you see here. So life and health, property and casualty on the insurance side, securities industries essential, the SIE, and then we also do offer integrated package. So the SIE 6 and the SIE 7. If you did know specifically that the career path that you plan on going into requires a Series 6 versus a Series 7, you could enroll in both of them, and we offer an integrated package that you have access to both of those courses, because they will go hand in hand if you know that you're going to go down that path. The other great thing about the SIE course is if you did go through the SIE component, you weren't sure where you were going to end up or who you'd be hired with, you could take and complete the SIE, and you do have 4 years from the time you pass it before you have to move on to complete your rep level Series 6 or Series 7. So if you have considered or started an SIE program, one of the great things about it is you can add it to your resume. It's going to open up more doors for you and connect with recruiting firms like Northwestern Mutual. It'll it'll be a highlight to your resume if you've already completed or started an SIE program, as Kaitlyn will talk about here in a minute, on what they kind of look for as they're recruiting out of colleges and look for potential careers. So with that being said, I tried to keep myself short here, and I will go ahead and pass it along. Kaitlyn, if you are unmuted, and I can just click through, since I have this on my screen, I will go ahead and turn it over to Kaitlyn Stott. I'll let you introduce yourself, and I can click through the slides for you.
Awesome.
Quick,
Thank you
Laramie.
so much. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I just saw a question come in. I thought we'd answer while it was
Okay, go ahead.
timely. For the financial advisor licensing pathway, do they typically get the insurance license first or the SIE following the series 6, 7, etc.?
It can kind of go both ways. So the easiest, shortest answer is, I'm going to try to get back to it, is you could start your SIE training now and complete your SIE program and test. When you go to get hired, you will have to do your life and health in the state that you are going to work in as well. So we typically see, if someone hasn't gotten hired yet and they're just looking at these careers, potentially starting the SIE first, because it kind of leaves it a little bit more wide open than committing to your life and health and getting your state license and completing it that way. The thing I guess I would recommend is, if you're considering one of those pathways and you want to, probably have a conversation with whoever that firm is that you would be interested in working with and see what recommendations they may have. Did that answer the question?
Great. Thank you. LaSasha, let us know if you have other questions or follow up on that, but we're going to turn this over to Kaitlyn now.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys for having us. I'm really excited to be here. So my name is Kaitlyn Stott. I do work specifically out of our Pittsburgh office, but depending on where each of you are located, we have over 400 offices across the country. So I'm confident that there is an office close to you. And at the end, I will share my contact info. And so if you have any interest in Northwestern Mutual at all, regardless if you're close to Pittsburgh or as far away as possible, I can help get you in touch with the correct office and point person. So that being said, Northwestern Mutual has been around for over 160 years, and we really focus on the holistic planning process. And it's really great to partner with ExamFX. Laramie is an awesome partner because they focus, like he was just mentioning, really heavily on all different types of licenses. And so as a holistic financial planner, you are going to need all of your different insurance and investment licenses, which Northwestern Mutual does provide. So everything that he just covered, if this is something that you are potentially interested in, we're happy to get you set up through that study process. Specifically in our firm, we do focus on your life accident and health exam first. Once you pass that, we begin studying for your SIE. Typically, we do the Series 6 and 63, but you can also start to study for your Series 7 as well. So across the board, they're a really great partner, and we're excited to partner with them. But Northwestern Mutual is top rated, very financially stable. We really pride ourselves, I would say, on helping our clients and serving them first. So 96% of our clients stick with us year after year. And I think it really just goes back to wanting to join a firm that puts their clients first, makes the best decision for that specific client. You can see a lot of our other accolades. I won't bore you with all of them, but we're really proud to truly be making an impact in our community, specifically in Pittsburgh with my team, but across the nation, agents Northwestern Mutual wide. So our mission is to guide, impact, and transform the communities that we serve. We do have a top-rated internship program. It's been top-rated for almost 25 years. So going on that 25th year, we are a top place to work. consistently rated, and then really just making that impact on the clients that you guys would be meeting with is really impactful for your career development. We focus on several core values. The most important things that we're looking for in our candidates are integrity and courage. So you can read several core values below, but I think in joining Northwestern Mutual, putting your clients first, being honest and trustworthy is something that we really pride ourselves on. And so we're looking for people to continue to grow that culture. I think you have to have a sense of integrity. Northwestern Mutual was founded by two gentlemen, like I said, over 160 years ago. So we've been around for a very long time. But 2 years into starting Northwestern Mutual, at the time, it was just a life insurance company. And so they were a brand new company. And unfortunately, there was a train wreck. 2 policy owners, sadly and tragically, died. And Northwestern Mutual had to figure out, what do we do? We're a brand new company. Where do we go from here? We don't have the money to pay out these death claims, but we made a promise to our policy owners, to our clients, to protect them and their families. And so they could have gone one of 2 ways, right? They could have said, you know what, we have to declare bankruptcy. We can't pay these out, and better luck next time, right? We'll try to build this business back up. But what they chose to do, and the right thing to do, and really holding themselves to that level of integrity, was taking out personal loans on themselves and through the business and paying out those death claims so that they could keep their promise and continue to grow. And so I think it takes a lot of courage and integrity to do that. And so again, those are the type of people that we're really looking to help grow our firm and make a difference across the country. Joining Northwestern Mutual, you're truly gaining a wonderful experience. Again, I'm not sure where you guys are in your journey. If you're looking for an internship, I think this is a great place to get started. If you're looking more towards graduation and potential full-time careers, I think there's no better time to start than building a business for yourself right after graduation. So we're going to teach you how to run that business. What does that look like? What are you responsible for, right? It's a big responsibility, but it's very rewarding. You're learning how to lead yourself professionally, personally, financially. And then I think most importantly, you're leading others to financial success. And all of you clearly have some type of interest in the financial services industry. And I think there's no better way than to make that direct impact on people. So we truly focus on that holistic financial planning process. You can see here, there are several different focuses that I think are just as important depending on the stage of life that you're in or what's important to you, right? Protecting yourself, your family, things that you already have in your life is first and foremost. Deciding, okay, how are we going to tackle this debt, right? How am I going to start tracking towards some of these goals that I have set for myself and my family? How do I really make that financial impact? How do I continue to manage my wealth and grow that? And then let's put this plan into action, right? That's the most important step. I have all these goals and plans and exciting thoughts, but how do I actually execute on that? So we focus on the financial security process. As you can see, and Laramie touched a little bit on this earlier, the risk management side, the investment side, that's one license. The wealth accumulation, more investment is another. And so those have to work hand in hand in order to help our clients achieve financial security or achieve their financial goals. And then as we put those plans into action, we're really focused on the wealth preservation and distribution, which is ultimately making sure that the plan is doing what it's supposed to, changing when necessary, and when your clients are ready to make those withdrawals or implement certain goals that they've been saving for. The money's there for them, and you help them continue to change those actions as time goes on. And then the last thing that I think is most important as well is we have a top training program. So I don't expect anyone to come in ready to go just from earning a license. I think the license is really the first step in your business. So we have mentors that really help guide you through your first several years or your internship, working with joint work partners or other experienced advisors who know what they're doing and can help you really establish your process or your techniques. And then daily and weekly trainings that will be provided to really continue to help with that product knowledge, industry, overall understanding, and really just professional growth. So Northwestern Mutual is very growth forward. And I think it's really important to us to figure out what is being a leader or what does growth mean to you, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be a specific leadership title or position or running a team or mentoring someone. It can really just be leading by example or leading your clients to financial success. But if leadership is something on the more traditional route that's important to you or intriguing to you, there are several different ways that you can focus on growing your business while also growing into a leadership path as well. And then lastly, I think, I've touched on it several times, but helping people or really making an impact in their lives is something that's very rewarding and something that you probably won't get to experience that direct impact everywhere that you go. So joining Northwestern Mutual gives you that opportunity within the internship to really test drive, is this the right career for you? And if you are focused more on graduating and potentially looking for that full-time career, this is a great way to kickstart your career and really grow your business as you're just getting started and learning really all the ropes on the financial planning industry. So like I promised, my contact info is down there. My partner, Allison Vitale, her info is down there as well. So feel free to reach out to either of us if you do have any questions specifically about Northwestern Mutual, the financial services industry. I'd love to connect and learn a little bit more about you.
Thanks, Kaitlyn. And just a couple things I want to add in before we kind of open it up to any questions. But, Northwestern Mutual is a great organization, especially with regards to recruitment for opportunities for students right out of college. They have a solid platform to get students, or to get your career started, I should say. So they provide a lot of support around their licensing, support to get advisors kind of off the ground to, one of the toughest parts of going into financial services or financial careers is that first probably 12 to 24 months, because you're learning a lot, but you're also looking to try to develop your own book of business. You're also looking to find your own clients. And Northwestern Mutual, from what I have seen and participated with different offices, the level of support that they provide those new career starters is high level, top notch. And so take this opportunity to connect with Kaitlyn and ask questions. Some of the questions I typically get, and I know we sort of, to kind of circle back, so Northwestern Mutual, once you're brought on board, and you can correct me if I'm wrong here, Kaitlyn, but they'll outline when you need to start and get your life and health. And then from there, they'll outline the SIE Series 6, Series 63 expectations of when you will need to get those licenses, and then utilize our training programs here at ExamFX to help study, to participate in live online classes, to participate in review sessions, to get you prepared to pass those exams, do it the first time. So you don't have to spend too much time studying, but you can understand and grasp what you need to complete those licenses and then move on to continue to build your business as a financial representative. So it's been a great partnership. We work with a lot of Northwestern Mutual offices and intern programs to help students get started and start their career paths with Northwestern Mutual. So thanks, Kaitlyn. I think, Shonda, do you want to open? I think we have enough, or I think we could probably. Do we have any other questions?
Yeah, if people would like to turn their cameras on, you're welcome to. We have a small group today, so it'll be great for a conversation. If you want to do that, if you have a question, you can turn your mic on and ask, or you can put it into the chat for us. But you've got two fantastic resources here ready to answer away.
And if there aren't any questions, I'd love to know what your guys' kind of majors are, what your interests are around financial services careers. I like having those conversations with students just because it's something we try to focus on and support those student career goals around licensing.
Great. Well, it looks like Shady has joined us. Did I say your name right? Is it Shady or
Yes,
Shady?
that's right. That's right.
Okay. Well, go ahead.
So I actually just had a question about the career aspect of things. So I'm set to be graduating this spring, and obviously that's a few months out. Just the hiring process kind of for Northwestern. What's like the minimum time requirement you like? So if I wanted to apply today, would I be able to get the job, or would I have to wait a few more months?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I would say every office is a little bit different in their specific time frame, but it's never too early to connect. We have offers. So typically, if you are graduating in April or May, I'm assuming, we have a June training class that we would put you through. So training typically for each office, it may differ slightly, but I would say typically it's about a 4-week training process that you would go through in the month of May and June before you were ready to take your business to the next level. So we do make our final offers for June at the beginning of May, I believe. So right now, connecting with someone is actually going to be the perfect time frame because it will allow you to move through the selection process. The selection process is typically around 3 to 4 weeks. Again, depending on your availability, how quickly you feel comfortable moving through that process. And then from there, if you were to accept an offer, there are several things that you could get started on. So again, it's not too early to connect with someone. And I probably should have put this in there, so I'll put it in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me, even like I said, if Pittsburgh is not your specific location. But I'll also put in northwesternmutual.com/internships or /careers, and you're able to apply online. If you put in your zip code of either your hometown or the location you're looking to be post-graduation, it will send your resume to the office and the recruiter that's closest to you. They would reach out to you, but like I said, I can get you directly in contact with someone, so feel free to reach out to me as well. Does that answer your question?
Okay. Great. Looks like we have another question that came in. Would you recommend working on those licenses now while in college, or hold on until we're working?
So kind of going back to what I had mentioned before, the SIE is one that if I was a junior or senior in college and I knew that I wanted to do this, I would consider starting the SIE because it's going to be a basic component of everything that you're going to need to do around FINRA licensing. And it'll give you that aspect of the securities industry in general. And you can kind of tackle it at your own leisure and take that exam when you have time to. And you'll be that much further along when you go to get licensed, when you get hired by Northwestern Mutual or by XYZ financial organization. The life and health will be an easier component, but until you know that I'm going to work in Wisconsin, for example, I'm not going to take my life and health in Wisconsin and be state specific if there might be a chance that I get hired in Minnesota or along those lines. We offer a great discount to any Delta Sigma student. If you go on and just simply enter Delta Sigma Pi at ExamFX when it asks you the discount code, we have a great discount for our live online program, and you'll learn a lot as you go through that course about the securities and financial services industries. Regulatory authority, again, is the who would be administering that test, and you would need that for the investments component. That would be my recommendation. You don't have to do any of them. If you really want to get started and get a jump start on your career, there's some of this that you could do, or you could wait until you are hired or connected with a firm. And I guess, I'll kind of turn it over to Kaitlyn to see what her thoughts might be as somebody's considering graduating. If you see resumes that would have certain licenses, if it would stick out to you, or kind of your thoughts from the Northwestern Mutual perspective on it.
Yeah, absolutely. Two things. I think one, if I do get a resume and I see any of these specific licenses, I think it sets you apart. One, because you're already licensed. That means you're really taking your career seriously. You're doing the things that are setting you apart from a lot of your peers. And that is one check mark that you don't have to really focus on as you would be joining Northwestern, just in general. My one piece of advice, and this comes from working with a lot of interns and then a lot of full-time advisors, or even interns that end up joining after they graduate, conversions we call them, so they convert to full-time advisors. The biggest piece of advice, as you're in your study mode, right? You guys are used to studying, you're in school, you're in class, you're studying for tests all week long. I know right now it seems like the last thing you want to do is to add another exam to study for, but I promise you that once you graduate and you get out of that study habit or that school mindset, the very last thing you're going to want to focus on is studying for another exam. And I think it's easy to fall out of that habit too. So I would recommend, especially like Laramie said, if you know where you want to go after school or what direction you want to be headed, with this discount code too, I think that's really great that they offer that, because you would be able to get a jump start and build that into, if you're graduating, build that into your last semester. Act as if this is another class that you're taking. It's not gonna, I think Laramie mentioned the SIE is like 60 hours total. The LAH is like 30 to 40. So it's not gonna take a significant amount of time if you really put your mind to it. But my recommendation would be knock out as much as you can, especially if you know in the end this is something that you're gonna want to get regardless.
Yeah, and it'll be that differentiator on your resume as you look to find those opportunities. And Kaitlyn makes a good point. Once you get hired, no matter where it is, Northwestern Mutual or whatever financial services firm, your first 12 months, you kind of are drinking out of the fire hose. They're throwing a lot of stuff at you. You're trying to navigate a whole new industry career, or develop your own clients. It requires a lot of time and effort. And if you've been able to at least start this process and say you have completed your SIE, that's really going to shorten the amount of time and commitment you're going to have to make studying on top of all of the other things that you're going to be taking on with your new career path. So that may have been a really long-winded answer to your question. I'm not sure.
No, I think that was a great answer. What other questions do you all have?
So I think I might have a question here. So I'm looking at a lot of different internships for financial advising, and I just kind of wanted to know, like, what separates the internship experience at Northwestern Mutual in terms of preparing the interns for moving into a full-time position with the company. So just what kind of things in specific does Northwestern Mutual do in order to prepare their interns for things like that?
Great question. So the internship really mimics the full-time role. as a financial advisor. So starting out, I think there are a few other internships that do allow interns to become fully licensed, but that's one thing that starting your internship, you are life accident and health licensed at a minimum. If this is something that a few weeks in or after that first semester, you're truly taking this seriously and you're thinking, wow, I think I could see myself doing this, we can then get you on track to obtain your Series 6 and 63 along with your SIE before graduation even, is a thought. So the licensing process is really significant because at a minimum, if Northwestern Mutual financial planning is not something that you end up doing long-term, you take those with you, right? We can't take them from you. But I think starting your financial practice as an intern is something that's really, really critical to get that full experience and really test drive this career. We could have you shadow an advisor or listen in on different meetings and tell you about the planning process. But until you truly take a potential client through the process, they may decide to become a client. They may decide not to, right? You'll probably have experiences with both. And I think that's good so that you can truly understand what building a financial practice looks like, what building a financial clientele looks like. And then you truly get to see the impact that you're making on those people or individuals or businesses. So getting that hands-on experience is really important, in my opinion, in an internship to help you decide, is this the right fit? Because we have students come in and say, this is exactly what I thought I wanted to do. And a few weeks in, they realize, whoa, this is not what I wanted, right? And then we have students come in and say, this sounds like a really good opportunity. I'm not really sure. They take the risk, they take the internship, and they find out, I love this, right? This is exactly what I should be doing. This is the place I want to be after graduation. So that's the purpose of the internship, is to really test drive this career and see if it is the right fit for you. And then the last thing I'll add, I don't expect you to come into an internship knowing exactly how to run a business, right? It's probably typically something that no one has done before or very few students have done before. And so with the training that we provide to you, you will have a direct mentor that you're learning from. But then as you are responsible for filling your calendar, setting meetings, we will pair you with experienced advisors. We call them joint work partners. So you partner up as business partners with these advisors so that you can learn the process directly from them. So again, it's not something that you're responsible for coming in and taking someone through the process by yourself. You are truly learning from someone who's been in your shoes and someone who's had several years of experience. And as you go through the internship, as you get more comfortable, you're going to take over more of the meeting until you're ready to run your own meeting, is the hope. By the end of the internship, you can run a meeting by yourself. You can take someone from start to finish to become a client, but that's with a lot of help from your mentors, other advisors, trainings, all the support that's needed.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Of course.
Great. Any other questions, comments? All right. Well, Kaitlyn, Laramie, any closing comments from you all before these students run back to class and get signed up to start their financial services careers here?
I mean, I'd just say thanks for the time and thanks for connecting, guys. If you ever have any questions specifically about, insurance licensing or securities licensing in our programs, feel free to reach out to me. My email's there, laramie.mcclurg@examfx.com. My direct line, feel free to give me a call if you want to. There's a lot of opportunity in financial services careers, and there's a lot of potential to build your own wealth and income in these career paths. Northwestern Mutual is a standout organization, and again, the support that they provide their new advisors when they're getting off the ground is second to none. Kaitlyn's great. There's a lot of other offices in Northwestern Mutual that do a great job as well. So I appreciate you joining, Kaitlyn, and filling these guys in about Northwestern Mutual.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for having me. And I agree with Laramie. If there are any questions, feel free to reach out directly. But I did put Northwestern Mutual's website and where to go to find the online application if you are interested. And I'd love to connect with all of you in the future. But best of luck.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for attending. Kaitlyn, Laramie, thank you for sharing all of your information and knowledge. We will send a survey out tomorrow. So if you'd fill that out for us, that helps us keep planning these great webinars in the future. But thanks, everybody, and we'll see you at another event very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right.
Awesome.
One more down. Woo, she was shrill.
I like the Southern accent.